I think we've heard a lot of through our conversation about kind of evolution and growth and things like that. So another critical idea that you guys talk about is the idea of being a learning family. So can you share some thoughts on what it means to be a learning family and how this supports building an owner's mindset?
Yes, absolutely. It's probably one of my most favorite concepts in the book. And we dedicate a whole chapter to it because I think when we think about development, we think individual. And as you can see throughout this whole conversation that we've been having, that it really happens. Yes, it does. Development absolutely happens at the individual level, but it really does happen at the family level too. And it needs to happen at the family level because we need to have a common language. And learning together helps us have a level playing field and a common language for us to work through the complexity of ownership. There are so many layers to this journey that we're on together. And so our ability to get into a room and learn about not only the hard topics, like in my family, we had my cousin Rusty put together a business case, and we brought the rising generation in, and we all talked about learning about financial statements. So sometimes it's about the hard stuff, and it's challenging because of course there's different levels of capability. Some people already know how to read a financial statement, and other people don't even know what a financial statement is. So it's very hard to sometimes have the patience, but when you can bring everybody in the room together and have those who know helping those who don't really understand, and do that in a really collaborative way, it can just breed cohesion. It breeds commonality. It gives us a common language. It bonds us together. I think that the other piece, though, is also about the soft skills and bringing families together to talk about how do we resolve conflict. Not let's resolve a conflict right now, but let's learn how to do this really well. Let's learn about what trust means, or, hey, I want to understand your communication style better because you tend to communicate very differently than I do. And I'd really like to understand that better. So it can be the soft stuff. I mean, in a couple of weeks, I'm bringing, I'm working with a family right now who unfortunately has a family member with an addiction. And so we're actually coming together. We're having a specialist come in and actually teach us about the substance that that person is addicted to, what happens to the brain, how it is impacting that individual, but also how it impacts a family, and how did they manage it collectively. They're each suffering in their own way, and the impact is significant on the whole family. And so how can they learn about it, learn about setting boundaries? Like, yes, we need to support the person who has that horrible disease, and we also need to have boundaries and take care of ourselves, take care of the parents in this case who are working overtime to support that family member, as are many of the siblings. So our ability, again, to come together and learn creates bonds. It gives us a common language. It helps us really have a level playing field of understanding and skillfulness. So it's a great process to have in your learning, your developmental process as a family. So yeah, I don't know if Gaia and Barb, you want to add anything to that, but yeah.
Well, I just think, as I talked about repetition before, owner groups have to make decisions together. Mm-hmm. And getting together as a learning family in some ways models that group that's going to have to make decisions together. So in the dialogue, the learning together, I think there's a lot of lessons we gain about our partners that allow us to maybe do a better job than when the big, life-threatening types of decisions face owners.
Wonderful.